people. Today, mostly present in the entertainment industry. Video games, movies, telling stories about superheroes or sci-fi future. But think for a second about higher purpose of these avatars. Could they be narrators, AI teachers, maybe even replicas of world-famous leaders? Fourth industrial revolution is approaching, and it puts into focus an AI, artificial intelligence that needs embodiment, and this is the reason why. More than 60% of all communication that we perceive come from nonverbal communication, where human face represents one of the most important visual stimulants that we perceive. It is so deep in our beings, in our DNA, that even infants can recognize human face, which they see as black and white picture. So you can imagine how great challenge is to make a digital face when we are all well trained to perceive even the smallest detail that makes a feeling that something is not exactly right. For that reason, we in Trilateral developed technologies, hardware and software solutions that we call Sunflower Framework and Metahuman Framework. We use these two frameworks to fast and efficient digitize people. So how do we do that? We scan faces, and to do that, we rely on FACS, Facial Action Coding System, that was defined by psychologist Paul Ekman. He studied human face for a decade and proved that all facial expressions and all emotions are universal for everybody in the planet, no matter which cultural or national group we belong to. So FACS is a tool for classification of all facial expressions, and the main unit in that system is called an action unit. So action unit is basically a single muscle activation, and it can be considered as a letter of nonverbal communication that we all use on a daily basis to communicate with each other. So to scan people, we need special hardware, and in Trilateral, we'll develop hardware that we called Sunflower, and it counts hundreds of cameras, hundreds of light sources, all synchronized on a level of microsecond. This way, we can capture all details on the face, all subtleties, and this is the way to acquire data that is important for making a digital character. So we start with scanning a neutral expression without any muscle activation, and based just upon of this one scan, we can approximate any other movement on the face. This won't give us a perfect results, so we need to scan more expressions. So we pick the most important ones, like jaw opening, brows raising, and similar, and then we approximate movement between expressions. But approximation is, again, not enough, so we need more data. Sunflower allows us to capture 60 scan references in only 1 second. So there is no approximation in this. And based on this data, we can extract non-linear model of human face, which is necessary for defining all those unique things that we all have on the face. So these models are so detailed, as you can see. You can see every single wrinkle. You can see geometry of skin. Even pores of the skin are visible. But data set that we acquire is enormously big. We acquire few terabytes in just 1 minute of performance. So for that reason, we need to develop software solutions that we call Metahuman Framework. And we believe it will allow us to process big data sets on a single PC. Processing means working on textures and geometry. And by working on textures, I mean finding correspondences between single expressions. And by doing that, we define a 3D vector field of the movement. Then we can transfer that 3D vector field to a quad-based mesh, which is, again, automatically, yet really precisely aligned with the scan reference, which has non-uniform topology. Adding on top of this 2D maps that will give us information about specularity, about roughness of skin, translucency, we define a facial rig, which is a system that we present through a user-friendly interface, where each slider is connected to an action unit or a group of action units. And by moving those sliders, we basically animate face. So Digital people, yes, they are mostly used in the entertainment industry today. But think for a second about higher purpose of them. We believe that digital people will be applied everywhere around us. We believe that in a couple of years, you'll be able to talk to a digital agent in the bank or on the ATM machine. We believe it is applicable in a domain of combining it with artificial intelligence. So imagine, for example, talking to all those fantastic scientists and artists from a comfort of your home. And if we move just a step further, we will realize that these huge data sets can have even higher value. So this technology can be applied in medicine, for example. We can observe face, analyze skin and changes on face, and make early diagnostics based on just on observing. Or this data also can be applied in a domain of biometrics for making, for creating facial recognition systems, for example. We also believe that it can be somehow correlated to in genetics by combining digital DNA to a real DNA. So I've been talking a lot. I would like to show you an example of our work. It's a part of Macbeth, performed by famous Andy Serkis. He's an actor who stands behind some of the most popular digital characters, like Gollum in Lord of the Rings or Caesar in Planet of Apes. Let's have a look.
Tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace. From day to day, to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out. Out! Brief candle! Life's but a walking shadow. A poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing.
Thank you.